Hi, it's Ashleigh from Sweet Dreams Bakeshop, and welcome back to my channel where I make a lot of cake and cookie decorating tutorials as well as give a lot of baking business tips. And welcome to another day of Vlogmas. So the other day I had the opportunity to go to Jujar's new bakery, Mann Co Bakeshop, and I was so excited to be there. Everything just turned out so well for him, and I'm so glad that he had a successful grand opening. And of course that means that I brought home a bunch of goodies to try. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you what exactly I got, and I'm going to rate them in order. Now, I want to preface this by saying everything was super delicious, so my ratings are all based on my personal preferences. Kicking things off, I'm going to start with the peanut butter potato chip cookie. Now, this just intrigued me because it was rolled in potato chips. So what I was really expecting was I was expecting something nice and sweet with a punch of savory. So I wasn't sure if this was going to be a very chewy texture or if it was going to be a little bit more crisp. I think because it said gluten-free, I just assumed it would be a little bit more on the crisp side. The texture of this was actually quite surprising. It was very melt in your mouth, and it did have that really nice hit of savory flavor. But interestingly enough, I felt the crunch of the potato chip, but you really couldn't tell that the potato chips were there. Like if you closed your eyes, I don't think you would be able to put your finger on it that that's what you were eating. But I really liked this one. And it was just the right amount of sweet for me. Not overpoweringly sweet at all. Moving along to the opera cake, and from my understanding, an opera cake is made up of several different layers here. So this one had a beautiful glaze on top. It also had a lemon curd and Earl Grey flavoring infused into those cake layers. Now, I don't know what exactly I was expecting. I've had opera cakes before, but usually it was layered with like a chocolate ganache and some sort of almond flavor I've had before as well. So it was actually very surprising when I bit into this. I was impressed with just how much Earl Grey flavor was actually infused in this. Tea can be very difficult to flavor with because you need quite a bit of it, so I'm guessing that he infused that in many different ways. The lemon curd in this was also quite pleasant, just tart enough, and it really added a balance of flavor with that Earl Grey. And the layers of cake were definitely not dry at all. A perfect amount of moistness. Perhaps there was even a soaker used in this. Maybe it was even Earl Grey itself. Moving along to the eggless chocolate chip cookie that Jujar gifted me as I was walking out the door, and I gotta tell you guys, I am so glad he did. Now, I didn't pick this one out myself, mainly because I make chocolate chip cookies all the time, so I felt like, oh, it's not going to be maybe that different, but I'm not lying when I say that this has a very special flavor. I love it when the butters taste really caramelized, and I love a good chewy cookie, and this had just the right amount of chew. I like mine thin like this as well, and the quality of chocolate that was used in this seems quite high. It was so delicious. Moving along to the two savory options that I tried out, these were so interesting. I did not really know what I was purchasing. I just saw puff pastry and I was like, yes, give that to me. The pastry on this was fantastic. So flaky, so many layers. And the fillings were very surprising. Again, there was some sort of like olive spread in one of them. Really great, savory with a little bit of spice in there, but it wasn't spicy. It just had a really big depth of flavor. Bold flavors in these pastries. And moving along, now normally again, I don't buy cupcakes because I make them all the time, but these macarons and the smell of that matcha Swiss meringue buttercream just had me. So I needed to get one of these and I needed to try one. Nice full shells with that matcha buttercream, and had I had this fresh, I think that macaron would have been even better, but I did leave it for a day, so that is my fault. And then it had this great amount of matcha buttercream on top with a strawberry filling, and it was quite good. This one was actually my husband's favorite, but at the end of the video, I'm going to show you my ratings of everything in order. And finally, we had this entremet on top. I believe that's what he called it. Please forgive me if that's not correct. It was very good. This one had all of the flavors that I typically like. I believe there was caramel in here. There was chocolate ganache. It was very nice and light, that entire mound that you see on top. Super, super light on the inside. We had some really great chocolate notes going on in the center. And then we had that cookie on the bottom. And it was a little bit hard to get through the cookie. I think had we maybe let it cool down just a little bit before, it probably would have been easier. But see all those layers inside? Just super, super delicious. Everything works together. And overall, everything at Jujar's Bakery had a really excellent balance of sweetness. I would purchase every single one of these again, but putting them in order, I would put the savories at the bottom, though still very delicious. Love that flaky pastry. Then next up would be the matcha cupcakes, my husband's favorite. Then the opera cake. Then the entremet. And I gotta say, those two were a big toss-up. They were both super, super divine. And surprisingly, the things that are coming out on top for me are these cookies. The next one would be the potato chip cookie. It was so interesting, so unique. I really liked it, but I'm a sucker for a chewy cookie. So these cookies, which I wasn't even going to grab, come in first place for me. These were fantastic, and I would definitely get way more next time. Also, the sample cake that he gave out was so good. So if you love elegance and opulence with your cakes and you want a really delicious cake, go to Mann Co Bakeshop. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can be part of the Sweetie fam. Right now, I'm uploading every single day for Vlogmas, so be sure to come back tomorrow to see what I upload. Also, be sure to comment, request, or ask a question. I love hearing from you guys. Bye!